AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. It's AllBall TV, Fabian PerspecTV, solo dolo effort. Hopefully I drown out the noise while playoff games in the background. I'm totally surprised that Bill Simmons and Van Lathan and Ryan Russillo didn't watch any Knicks games last season and totally just are shocked by Julius Randle's surge, his surfacing, his emergence as a player who's able to coexist with a star.
When it mattered, it felt like Minnesota had a few more things they felt good about, even though the number one score to number two is a big drop off. And, look, Randall's had a bit of a rebirth here, which is one of the biggest reasons why I think they were motivated to do that cat trade. As bad as it looked for so much of the season, it was just there's going to be so much pressure on Ant in the playoffs. The secondary option needs to be able to create some stuff on his own with the ball. And I think that was, even though, Randall's not exactly like everybody was going, oh, my God, they got Randall. I think that was part of the basketball approach to having him there. And you're seeing it.
My favorite Randall stretch I've seen, Van, probably ever in his career from a two-way standpoint.
Yeah.
I'd given up. This would be a good website, or like where you just track where it's like, have you given up yet, or you're still holding on? I would have just checked the I've given up box on Randall. I love the way he played it. He also seems physically like just not afraid of Luka or LeBron. And I think that's one of the problems for the Lakers in this series is Minnesota has kind of this same kind of size, like just bodies to bang with them, at least make it hard for them. But were you ever out on Randall? Where'd you stand?
I felt like he had kind of outlived his NBA usage, his usefulness at like a high level.
Playoff
I didn't know that we would ever see him being a difference or a difference maker in a playoff series again. It just seemed like it was petering out. And when you look at it, the trade looks now like a trade that worked out for each team. You see Cat and the Knicks have a big win, and he's playing really well. And Randall has really found a way to fit in with the Timberwolves in a way that I did not think that he would be able to. I thought that he was going to stop the ball. I thought he was going to clog things for Ant. I thought he was going to be someone that Ant would get frustrated with. And you did see that at times this year. But once they kind of figured it out, and once the pace of the game slowed down a little bit in the playoffs, you kind of seen his usefulness. He really is. He's an athletic guy who can guard a lot of different guys.
Yeah.
He's decent in an ISO. You can't leave him open. He'll make the shot every now and again. And he's tough. Like, to Russillo's point, they are a tough team, and the Lakers are kind of soft. They're a little Hollywood getting pushed around by these guys. It's depressing to see. Yeah.
Wow. The culture thing,
I never thought Randall would learn how to not be a ball stopper. I'm still not convinced. Are we sure? Russillo, are we sure that this is a new chapter of Randall, or is this just a phase?
This is part of the reason why I started doing commentary like this. Like, Bill Simmons is, legendary career. Van Lathan, I didn't know he was that big of a sports fan. But how do you not know? If you were watching the Knicks last year during our run, Julius Randle switched his entire game up. I was the biggest Julius Randle critic during most of his run with the Knicks. But that month, once OG got here, he totally changed. He shot less three-pointers at the beginning of last year. And his driving kick game was what I missed most with the Knicks. So I hate the fact that, Bill Simmons and Van Lathan and Ryan Russillo, it's no disrespect to them. But if you guys are watching NBA basketball and you are keeping up with it, it's just proof that, not that everyone can do it. I don't want to make it seem like everyone can just keep up with every single game. It's so important to have other people on or speak to other people that watch other teams. Shout out Dom Dropper. Shout out a bunch of Dom Dropper watches the Clippers every day. I'm gonna go talk to Dom Dropper about the Clippers. If I see that, like, when I'm seeing with Zubac, the games that I do see him, like, this guy looks like he made a leap defensively. What happened? So going back to Julius Randle and the Timberwolves, I'm not shocked that they are this good in the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the OKC Thunder. I just wouldn't be shocked by that because they present a physicality. They present just a different dynamic that it's going to be intense for 48 minutes for 7 games. And obviously OKC, they have, it's almost 2 different rosters the entire game working in a chain command. They're just subbing out players that can really put up with any sort of onslaught that you have. Whatever style you have, they can survive it for X amount of time and they can deal with it. The Lakers don't have that setup. And I'm not saying I'm disappointed in Bill Simmons and Van Lathan and Ryan Russillo for not picking up on this, but at the end of the day, Randle is not the same kind of player he was even 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. For when Brunson arrived in New York, Randle was able to still play alongside another A1 guy. You're talking about a guy that took his spot as the face of the franchise. And he took a back seat. I think those things, when you sacrifice just a lot of things in life, we don't think about it this way, but I know I do. It's the only way I'm able to empathize with these ball players because I never played ball, especially at that level professionally, and just I don't care if it's in New York it's the PSAL or the playground. I don't care what level you played on. You just can try to put yourself in their shoes and be realistic. Randle had another guy come into the league, on his team and take over and just say, not necessarily play sidekick, but pick and choose your spots. And he went from a very erratic, shooting way too many 3-pointers for a guy with his size and not taking advantage of his size. He went from that to, I'm gonna drive and kick. I'm gonna play into my strengths against anybody. And it was just amazing what he was able to do for that month and a half with the Knicks before he got hurt. People do not believe to this day that the Knicks were a championship team last year with Randle healthy and the Knicks healthy. I will always believe that. It's part of the reason why I'm not surprised with Minnesota. Do I expect them to win a championship? No. But I expect them to compete against every team because they present a different level of physicality because of Julius Randle. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.